how to fuse and whip the ends of a rope.
Well, if we've already done it.
Then we'll just have more practice.
We'll take
I like to fuse ropes.
We'll need a lighter if we're gonna.
What we're trying to accomplish by doing this, both methods, is to keep the rope from unraveling, right? Because when you cut the end of a rope, it will fray on you and come apart. What you guys are probably most familiar with, having known virtually nothing other than synthetic fibers your entire life, is fusing the end of a rope. How many of you have taken a little lighter to the end of a piece of string and melted it a little bit so it doesn't unravel?
Yes.
That's what fusing the end of a rope does.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what Mr.
It does not work on natural fibers. If you have a hemp rope or a cotton rope or a sisal rope,
It's gonna burn.
all it's going to do is burn.
You
You have to make sure that you have a rope made out of plastic.
Makes a good candle.
Piece of string made out of plastic. So we've got to have some other way to keep natural fiber ropes from unraveling. This is not a natural fiber rope, but we're going to practice on it because I didn't have any natural fiber rope.
Isn't this the thing we did last year where we covered them in petroleum jelly?
So what you're going to do is tie a knot on the end of this rope to keep it from unraveling. And the type of knot that you're going to tie is called a whip. Okay? So I'm going to demo on this bite, this eye splice, how you're going to do it. You take the rope that you want to keep from raveling, and then you take a smaller piece of twine or string that you're going to use to keep it from unraveling. Everybody remember what a bite is from last week? We were tying square knots. You just fold the rope in half. You're going to put a bite in the rope, and you're going to lay that bite on top of the rope that you're wanting to keep from raveling. And about a ½ inch or so down from the end of that rope, you're going to start wrapping this standing end around it. And you're going to wrap fairly snugly and in a very precise manner. And you're going to wrap it, 4 or 5 times. When you get toward the end of the rope that you're wrapping, see how I've got my bite sticking out there still? I'm going to stick the end of my twine in that bite. And then I've got the tail of the bite on this side, right? So I'm going to pull that. And what I'm going to do is pull this piece underneath those wraps that I made, so that the wraps hold the knot.
That's cool.
And then I can clip the ends there, and that knot is on the end of that rope, and the rope's not going to unfray anymore.
Or at least from that spot.
From that spot on, right? So, you guys each have a piece of rope, and you each have a piece of twine. Take one and pass them down.
Are we going to put the ends in and take it back off?
Oh, I won't put the ends. Take one and pass them around. And the first thing we're going to do is fuse the end of your twine.
We shall do this.
Oh, and you looked at me when I made sparks.
I'm not making sparks.
You're making fire.
Everybody, once you get your piece of twine that Kai has continuing to pass around, I want you to hold your piece of twine about 2 inches from the edge and just hold it out in front of you, like this. Everybody hold it like this. Don't move.
Wait.
Stick the end of your piece of twine in there. There, you just fused the end of it.
Oh.
You just fused the end of it. Don't touch it, because it's going to be hot.
It stays hot for a while.
Basically candle wax.
So tempting.
It's so slippery.
All right.
I got burned by this.
Now, you've completed half of your requirement. You've fused the end of the rope. Now, the other half is going to take a little bit longer, right?
Fuse it?
We're going to tie, everybody's going to tie a whip. So lay your black rope down in front of you.
Yeah.
pick the end that you want to put the whip on.
This
You're going to take your twine. You're going to make a bite. Make sure that you leave plenty down here for it to wrap. Okay, everybody got your bite?
There you go.
It's all of your twine's probably cool enough to touch now.
I already took mine.
Everybody got their twine looking like this? All right. Now you're going to lay this down on the rope, on the end of your rope, with the curve of the bite facing away from the end that you're wrapping it around. Does that make sense? If I want to put the whipping on this side of the piece of rope, the curve of the bite is going to go that way.
Wait, huh?
You got it right.
Okay.
You can leave it laying down on the table. It's easier to deal with that way. So now you should have
You got it.
this. Everybody see my example? The bite with your thumb, and you're going to start wrapping. And you're going to wrap toward the loop. And you need the wraps to be relatively snug and very close together so that you can't see any gap between them.
I got my thumb there. Hold it with your thumb.
All right, see how I've got it laying right there? I'm going to put my thumb over the curve
What curve?
to keep it from going away.
Right
Just like that.
here?
Yep. And then I'm going to start wrapping, and I'm going to wrap toward my thumb. And you should be able to get 4 or 5 wraps out of it. Make sure that they've got to be all right beside one another and really neat.
Yeah, going towards your thumb helps keep it tight too. 'Cause, Alex, you're going away from your thumb. If you go towards your thumb, it helps keep it tight.
Now hold that with
I
your
got a
thumb.
loop and then I just really don't
then
think this was
we're
like
gonna
this.
wrap.
I don't even think I'm doing it right.
Like this.
Mr. Tony, it just kind of went like,
No, they're going to lay. See how it's laying beside each other?
stick it through the hole.
And it needs to be snug. If it's not snug,
Yeah, Alex, go.
if you don't wrap it snugly enough, you'll be able to take the knot and pull it off the end of the rope like that.
Take your.
And it really doesn't
Oh,
help.
come
Yeah, if you don't wind it right,
Okay, after you've wrapped, when you get to the end of the piece that you're wrapping, stick it through the bite.
And pull this one. Okay. So hold
But you see what I'm trying to get at?
That's not tough, people.
Explodes.
and keep it all snug.
Guy, focus on what you're doing, not talking. There you go.
Has Mr. Tony or I seen everybody's
Yes. You've seen
do
mine
it at least once?
You've seen mine
What you want to do is when you're pulling this,
Now, when you
see
guys
that
get
right there?
Boy Scouts
You want that to
and
go
you talk-
underneath it.
you do
It's
your
really hard. So you
pioneering
gotta
merit
pull it really
badge.
hard, okay?
You talk about actually how to make
Did I?
this kind of
No,
rope.
Good job.
I did it wrong.
Pretty cool.
No, it's just a little loose.
It actually helps.
Like you start with a bunch of this, and you wind up with a piece of this.
I got it. We actually have to make one without a drill. Power drill.
Yep. You gotta make it have a